Of all the watchers who descended on Mount Hermon, one name stands above the others in terms of judgment, in terms of responsibility, and in terms of the specific crimes attributed to him. The Book of Enoch is explicit. The iniquity of the earth, its corruption, its violence, its perversion, was to be ascribed specifically to this one angel. His name is Azazel. And here is what is remarkable. His name is not buried in some obscure apocryphal text. It is in your Bible right now, in Leviticus, in the holiest ritual of the Jewish calendar, hidden in plain sight, for 3,000 years. The Book of Enoch, chapter 8, gives us the specific crimes attributed to Azazel, and they fall into two categories that, at first glance, seem almost incomparable in severity. First, Azazel taught men the art of making swords, knives, shields, breastplates. He introduced the technology of war, systematic, organized violence, to a humanity that had not yet developed it independently. Think about what that means. Before Azazel, the text implies human violence was improvised, localized, limited. After Azazel, humanity had the knowledge to manufacture weapons efficiently, to equip armies, to make war a systematic enterprise. The Book of Enoch holds Azazel responsible for this. Not humanity's natural aggression, but the specific technological knowledge that turned that aggression into organized destruction. Second, and this is the detail that surprises most modern readers, Azazel taught women the arts of adornment, the preparation of antimony, the making of eyeshadow and cosmetics, the ornamentation of bracelets, rings, and necklaces. The text presents these two things, weaponry and cosmetics, as equally catastrophic, because the logic is the same. Both are tools of manipulation and corruption. Weapons corrupt men toward violence. Cosmetics, in the ancient understanding, corrupt toward lust, toward vanity, toward the kind of desire that led to the original transgression. Both teach humanity to see other human beings as objects to be conquered. Now, we turn to the passage in Leviticus, chapter 16, that proves this is not mythology invented by later writers. This is ancient institutional memory embedded in the most sacred liturgy of Judaism, Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, the holiest day of the Jewish year. God gives Moses precise instructions for the atonement ritual. 2 goats are to be selected. One is to be sacrificed to God. The other, and here the Hebrew text uses a specific name, is to be sent to Azazel. The Hebrew phrase is la Azazel, to Azazel. It is a proper noun, a name. The high priest lays both hands on the head of the live goat, confesses over it all the iniquities of the children of Israel, all their transgressions, all their sins, and then the goat is sent into the wilderness. For centuries, translators uncomfortable with the implication have rendered Azazel as scapegoat, turning a proper name into a concept, obscuring the reference to a specific divine being. The King James Bible translates it this way, but the Dead Sea Scrolls leave no doubt. The Book of Enoch leaves no doubt. The ancient Mishnah, the Jewish oral law, discusses Azazel as a proper name, a destination, a being to whom the sins are symbolically returned. The logic of the ritual is profound once you understand it. The sins of the people, violence, lust, transgression, are sent back to the one who introduced them. The iniquities of humanity are returned to the angel who taught humanity how to sin more efficiently. This ritual was observed every year for over 1,000 years. Every year the priests of Israel performed a ceremony that assumed the existence of a bound fallen angel in the desert, waiting to receive humanity's sins. The Book of Enoch is precise about Azazel's punishment. Chapter 10. And again the Lord said to Raphael, "Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudael, and cast him in. Dudael, an ancient name. Possibly the wilderness of Judea, possibly a more cosmic location. Raphael is to cover Azazel with rough and jagged rocks, to cover his face so that he cannot see the light. And there he is to remain until the great day of judgment, when he will be cast into the fire. And then God says something remarkable. The whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. To him ascribe all sin. Not to human weakness, not to the serpent in the garden, to the specific angelic being who gave humanity the knowledge that accelerated its own destruction. This is a radically different theodicy, a radically different answer to the question of why evil exists in the world than anything you learned in Sunday school or synagogue. It does not let humanity entirely off the hook, but it does place the origin of systematic evil, organized violence, systematic seduction, at the feet of a being who chose to bring those technologies into the human world. You might ask, why does it matter whether an ancient angel taught us how to make swords? We clearly figured it out on our own. But consider the question the ancient texts are really asking. Are human beings naturally self-destructive? Or were we given knowledge at a specific moment in history that accelerated our capacity for organized violence beyond what we would have developed naturally? The archaeological record is ambiguous. The sudden appearance of sophisticated weaponry, the rapid development of hierarchical warfare, the simultaneous emergence, in multiple unconnected cultures, of practices that the Book of Enoch attributes to the Watchers and the cosmetics. The ancient world took this far more seriously than we do. The ability to alter appearance, to manufacture attraction, to present a false version of yourself to the world. The ancient writers saw this as a form of deception with cosmic implications. Azazel taught humanity to deceive each other, to use the surface to obscure the interior. Whether you read this as a literal history or as a sophisticated ancient analysis of how violence and vanity corrupt civilization, the insight is remarkable. Two things destroy societies: the ability to make war more efficiently and the ability to disguise our true intentions behind a manufactured surface. Azazel, the text suggests, introduced both. Azazel is bound. The ancient texts say he remains there, in the darkness of Dudael, until the final judgment. And every year, for over 1,000 years, the priests of Israel performed a ritual that sent humanity's sins back to him, acknowledging that not all of what we call human evil originated with humans. In our next episode, we turn to the event that the Book of Enoch says was God's direct response to the Watchers' rebellion and the Nephilim's destruction of the earth, the flood. But not the flood you know, the full story, with all the details that Genesis leaves out. Subscribe. Because the texts that were sealed